Chapter 7, The Tension Between Knowing and Needing. Humans are wired to want answers. We chase meaning like animals chase food. It's survival, not luxury. When things don't make sense, we panic. When life feels random, we suffer. So we build frameworks, beliefs, stories, systems. We look for signs. We trust teachers. We pray to gods. We analyze, journal, meditate, go to therapy, read philosophy, manifest. All in the name of understanding. But here's the twist, most of the time, we don't really want to know, we want to feel safe. This chapter is about that gap. The tension between our hunger for truth and our need for comfort. And what happens when we start calling one the other. The myth of clarity. We act like clarity is the goal. I just want to understand. I need closure. I want to know why. But sometimes, clarity is just the mind's attempt to control the chaos. Because real life is rarely clean. Sometimes there's no why. Sometimes people leave, things break, pain comes, and nothing explains it. Still, we grasp. We make up narratives to feel less helpless. We rewrite history to protect our identity. We spiritualize suffering to avoid feeling victimized. We label trauma as a lesson so we don't have to sit in the ache of it. That's not knowing. That's coping. And it's okay. But we need to be honest about what it is. Meaning is a survival instinct. Neurologically, the brain is a pattern machine. It hates randomness. It fills in blanks. It assigns motive where there may be none. Evolution baked this in. The people who saw meaning, who assumed the rustling in the grass was a threat, or who found purpose in suffering, were more likely to survive. So even now, your system looks for meaning automatically. Not because it's noble, but because it's wired. That doesn't make meaning fake. It makes it human. But it also means we have to be careful. Sometimes what we need to believe gets mistaken for what's actually true. Knowing isn't always helpful. Some truths are heavy. Some don't resolve anything. Some just complicate the story you've been clinging to. Real knowing can ruin your certainty. Force you to question people you love. Show you that what you thought was healing was hiding. Kill your romantic idea of spiritual awakening. So people avoid it. They chase just enough insight to feel in control, but not enough to threaten the system they live in. And ironically, the people who claim to know the most are often the ones who've settled for convenient answers. Because deep knowing? It leaves you quiet, not arrogant. The addiction to meaning. We like to think addiction is about substances or behaviors. But one of the deepest addictions is the addiction to meaning. We get hooked on reading signs into everything. Needing life to make sense. Making suffering noble. Turning heartbreak into fate. Turning synchronicity into divine instruction. Sometimes it's real. Sometimes it's just the ego dressing up its need for control as spiritual alignment. The mind can turn anything into a story. But not every story should be trusted. Letting go of the need to know. There's power in not knowing. In saying, I don't have the answer. In admitting that meaning is fluid. That the universe might not be here to comfort you. That some things just are. This isn't hopelessness. It's honesty. And in that honesty, you find something strange, peace. Because when you stop chasing certainty, you make space for presence. When you stop trying to decode every moment, you start to live it. Mystics from all traditions eventually land here. In the space beyond understanding. The silent knowing that doesn't need proof. The trust that doesn't need explanation. It's not blind faith. It's surrendered awareness. The gift of not knowing. When you stop needing to know, you start seeing more clearly. You see what's actually happening instead of what you wish was happening. You feel grief instead of spinning it into meaning. You connect to others without needing to fix them or fit them into your story. You experience life without always dissecting it. Not knowing opens the door to curiosity, humility, real wisdom. Because truth isn't something you possess, it's something you relate to. And it moves. Closing the chapter. Knowing gives you control. Needing gives you comfort. But not knowing gives you freedom. We don't stop searching for meaning because it's wrong, we stop mistaking it for the goal. The real goal is to be fully here, in the rawness of what is. No story. No spin. Just presence. And from that presence, sometimes without effort, meaning rises. Not because you need it, but because you are finally quiet enough to hear what life has been saying all along. In the next chapter, we step into controlled madness, those altered states we chase through psychedelics, meditation, and sensory extremes, and the fine line between illumination and self-destruction.